When I think of the phrase omnichannel, I think of the best experience that companies can provide. Consider the situation. I do a bunch of research. There's a company I like, and their product looks pretty cool. I send them an email with all my requirements, and I hear back, and they tell me what's the package I need, how their product meets my requirements pretty well, what are the add-ons I need, and it's pretty cool. I'm thinking about it. Next day, I'm walking to lunch, and I was thinking about the pricing, so I give them a call on their phone. The person who answers the phone is not the same person that responded to my email, but knows what I was asking about, knows my requirements, knows what's the right package for me, and so the person can give me the pricing right away without me repeating any of that. A couple days later, my team played with the software. They like it. It makes them more productive. I decide to buy. On my desk, I go on the company's website and I start a chat, and the person on the other side answering the chat, again, is a different person from the previous two interactions, but he or she knows exactly what package I'm buying and what are the features I need, what are the add-ons, and asks a couple of simple questions, completes the transaction, I'm good to go. And that to me is an example of the customer experience that's achieved with omnichannel, good omnichannel service delivery. I, as a customer, did not need to repeat myself over and over, and every interaction was short and to the point, exactly what I needed. Omnichannel definitely has the potential to deliver on the anytime, anywhere expectation of the customer. It is a long journey there. There are some companies that do it very well today, but for most of us, it is a very intentional effort. So there are good choices of tools and technologies out there to help us do that. But it's a constant evaluation of what is the additional information we want to gather to fulfill our context of the customer, and for each touch point, each interaction, what's the information we want to gather to improve the value to the customer for the next interaction. And so potential is there. It's a very intentional and quite a bit of work for us and for most companies to do. The important thing is to keep the focus on the customer experience. What is the continuous improvement that we want to bring to the customer? Having a consistently rich interaction is there today, but it's not pervasive yet, and it is a long journey to get there. As previously mentioned, the customer experience is a really good guidepost for us. For us, it's continually to think about what's the additional information we want to gather from each interaction, but trading off with the customer experience. When a customer contacts us on chat, has a quick question, do we just answer it and get the customer going so he can move on? Or do we ask the mandatory question of what's your email ID? And so that will help us improve the data completeness in our system, but then it's additional friction for the customer. So there's not really a right answer. It kind of depends on what each company's philosophy for customer experience is. It feels like there's still quite a gap between the devices and apps that we use as consumers versus the ones we use at work. Consider the term consumerization of IT. It has been around for a while. It's about folks bringing their favorite easy-to-use devices and apps into the workplace just because it makes them more productive. It works so well. And that has helped by really pushing and setting a higher bar for the workplace tools. Those tools for employees to really use them as intended by the company execs have to be as easy to use and easy to set up. But the gap is still there, and it is something that I think B2B companies like us, software companies that make workplace tools, need to continue to aspire to. Design for the ease of use and ease of setup of a consumer tool, consumer app, but have the security and the scalability and reliability of enterprise app. The gap between the consumer experience of the consumer apps and the workplace apps is definitely reducing the capacity of businesses to deliver a good service as experience. There are things that that are still good examples for us to aspire to in the consumer space. And take one example, a lot of us at home, we have photos and videos on our smartphones, we can pretty easily mirror them to the big screen in the living room for the whole family to see. So going directly from iPhone to a TV. But in the workplace, a lot of IT help desks, they are supporting employees with not just laptops now, but smartphones and tablets. But many of the service desks don't have a good way to see what's going on the smartphone screen. There's not an easy way for the employee to share the smartphone screen to the IT help desk to get support. And so there are good tools and technologies helping there, but there's definitely still a gap between the ease of use and the capabilities that consumers are used to versus what's in the workplace. The starting point for leaders to create the anytime, anywhere experience would be the customer experience. So the leaders of the company or the leaders in driving this effort hopefully have a clear vision of what they think will really benefit the customers. What do the customers want to experience and how they want to experience the service at every interaction. And that vision will really guide along the way of what is the right flow, what is the right information to capture in the master customer database, what is the right information to capture at each interaction via each channel, what is too much, what is too little, which will then drive what are the tools to use, what are the integrations to build, and ultimately how to best present the information about the customer at each touch point. So when a service rep answers a chat, on that service rep's screen, what information is shown to really best enable the service rep to provide a good experience. The infrastructure for omnichannel experience, the easy decisions for us was to go cloud. And we use cloud-based tools one for marketing automation, one for sales automation, one for support. There's a different one for chat. There's one for the master data repository. For us, we build integrations between them. So each one being cloud tool, each one has a rich set of integrations, APIs we can use. There will always be some data that is siloed because these are products from different companies, and that's something we have to deal with. Some data just cannot or is not practical to be aggregated into the master database because of volume or security policy or so forth. So that's something we're working through. We see some companies combining multiple functions into one tool, marketing, analytics, sales, support, and so forth. And that enables the data to be richer, that enables the analytics to be more in-depth, and which in turn can provide better actionable insights for the service reps. And we see that trend with a couple companies out there today. It's not something we've tried ourselves yet, but there are a good set of cloud-based tools and technologies for companies to consider. At Splashtop, we build the remote control tool, hopefully the best in the market. Our customers contact us through multiple channels. We have the usual suspects. They email us, they start a chat on our website, they call in. Some customers even walk in, and we also go out to visit customers, get their feedback and so forth. Some customers interact directly with their web console to purchase or upgrade or send questions. And so we have a couple different systems and channels. We are actively investing in tying those together better to provide the best service for the customer that we can at every touch point. Just a couple weeks ago, we visited a big customer up in San Francisco, and we wanted to get feedback on our product. Also, we wanted to give an update to the customer on our product roadmap, and we got lots of good feedback. A few days later, the customer has some product issues and called our support line and to resolve those issues. And through this whole time, we really want the account exec, our lead evangelist for the customer, to have all of this context, to know what features the customer is interested in, to know what support issues the customer was trying to resolve. and so that our account exec's next interaction with the customer can be to the point. It's still an ongoing journey for us, trying to tie the systems together better to provide a more complete 360-degree view of the customer for whichever employee of ours is interacting, the account exec or the company exec or our support team and so forth. As for myself, being the product guy in the company, I feel like the feedback from customers has been the most instrumental to our company growth since we were founded. And that feedback has really shaped our product and driven our priorities, driven our designs, and our technology building blocks. And that feedback has come through all sorts of different channels. For me, the most exciting part about omnichannel is really capturing the feedback from the customers, and that enable us to serve them better at every interaction, but also for the long term to make a better product that works better for them, and hopefully can convince the rest of the customer base to take a look at us.